So I often get asked how to play neo-soul guitar licks, how to solo when you play R&B and neo-soul guitar, and often the focus is about which scale to use, which techniques to use and things like that. But I think that we should approach this with more attention to the call and response method, and particularly how we can release that tension and end any lick you guys can play with a minor pentatonic scale. And I want to start from a very simple example that you guys all can follow, okay? Which is going to be, let's play the shape 1 of the minor pentatonic scale. This, for example, is in the key of C sharp minor, because as you can see, I'm starting from fret number 9, which is the note C sharp. Now, the minor pentatonic scale is obviously very guitar friendly, and you guys can do all type of licks and stuff. I would say let's assume that we want to run through the scale, okay, from the D string. So for example here from fret 9 on the D string, that would look something like this. Okay. Now, usually when you play in this more, you know, R&B, neo-soul, but even jazzy style, you like to touch other colors which don't necessarily belong to the pentatonic scale. And I'm referring, for example, to do something like this. Okay, so as you can see, I'm introducing only one extra note to the pentatonic scale, which is going to be now the note D sharp. Now that, looking at it from a C sharp minor perspective, is the 9th really. It's what you do in the neo-soul move, right? So it obviously has that type of color. Now adding that will really give you an extra spicy color here. And from there you can do all of your things. For example, I like to do things like... Okay, where essentially you play around hammer-on pull-offs and even the blue note, sliding it back into the pentatonic scale. And the other ingredients that you guys find all the time when you solo and play licks in R&B and soul music is the use of double stops that recall very much Hendrix type of playing and style. You know. The way I'm doing it, obviously I hammer on the D string while I hit 2 string, and then I pull off, you know, that's literally the double stop Hendrix style. And then from there, I like to be light on the strings, that's why I'm using this type of upstroke, almost sliding back into another shape. And where I slide back is essentially the previous shape, so if this is our shape 1 that we were discussing, this is the start of shape 5, right? Okay, you don't have to know the whole shape if you don't want to, you can just look at these 4 notes. And from there, slide into shape 1. So what I'm doing my double stops, and then I'm getting back into shape 5, ready to get back again once more onto shape 1 and continue. But what I want to do, I want to show you the way I like to use to end this type of sound and licks, which is going to be the use of this triad. Now, to me, this sounds very much like the end of the phrase, the resolution, the release of the tension that you create, because remember guys that anytime you improvise and you play solos and licks, you are playing tension and release, okay, that kind of call and response game. And to me, this is the perfect, you know, end of this situation. So why does this work and where does this come from? Well, this is an inversion of an E major triad. An inversion is when you guys play a different note other than the root in the bass. In this case, that's a first inversion, because you play the note G sharp, which is the major third for this E triad. Now, the reason why this works is because anytime you play C sharp minor, you can also think that you are playing E major. They are relative keys, and therefore this is, yes, the C sharp minor pentatonic, but also the E major pentatonic, okay? So if you release the tension on an E triad, that will sound good. It will sound good if you are in the key of E major, because obviously that is the triad for the key, but also if you are in the key of C sharp minor, because you can think of this as really the triad that you guys play when you play a C sharp minor 7 chord. Okay, this is an E triad, and that's a C sharp minor 7 chord. So this is the same as this, just a different inversion. So anytime you guys play any lick on the C sharp minor pentatonic, on any minor pentatonic scale really, and it doesn't have to be my lick, if if you end it this way, that's gonna sound really like the resolution, like a nice ending. Obviously guys, the full tab for this lick, including a Guitar Pro file, is going to be available on my Patreon page. You guys can find the link in the description below. And if you guys want to learn more R&B and neo soul guitar with me, you will find my courses linked in the description below as well. Now, another nice, interesting way of ending it with this triad inversion is when you do this type of like Matteo Zazzato inspired, you know, sound, which is getting to that triad to a chromaticism, and the chromaticism will touch on the blue note of the scale, which is this one. Okay. Right, and you do it reaching that. So again, I can play my lick. Okay, this way. You basically delay the arrival to that E triad because you pass through an extra note, which is the blue note. Okay, and again, I will put a tab of this version as well on my Patreon page. But really, guys, you can play any type of lick, okay? On the pentatonic scale, you can play your bluesy thing. And then get to that ending in any possible way you like, because it doesn't matter what you played before. I like to play these types of licks, but you can play literally any lick and then still end this way on your E major triad or C sharp minor 7 chord, really. So I'll play one last time my lick in case you guys are interested in learning it slow so that you can follow along with the tab on my Patreon page. And if you want to include the blue note and delay that triad resolution, okay, let me know which version you like better in the comments below. And remember guys that you can play any other lick you like on the minor pentatonic, all of the licks that you already play, and this is just gonna be a nice way to end and spice up your licks at the end in a very soulful way.